So Sega held a live stream off of the Japanese launch of Sonic 2 and Fire and Ice. I had to say that because it's not Boom, it's Toon in Japan.
Yeah, surprisingly.
Yeah. And reading this off the Sonic Stadium, Takeshi Iizuka was in attendance among others playing the latest Sonic Boom installment in upcoming Sonic Mania. However, a pair of bombshells had dropped since the event the town concerning the far-flung Project 17, which is coming in holiday next year, so we have to wait a whole fucking year for this.
Yeah.
Which will be worth it. They say, we're going to release a game for the 25th anniversary. It's not ready yet. Well, we're not doing what we do. We're not going to do what we do with Sonic 06, so fuck that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, instead, here's another game with competent developers behind it while we go off and do the hard work for this other game.
So we had the two bombshells was firstly, there was going to be a new character introduced in this game. Pharaoh's firstly, it's going to be gameplay-wise, it'll be similar to Sonic Generations with 2D and 3D levels.
Again.
So, and also a brand new component to the game. Not too sure what this new component is, but it may or may not be connected to the completely new character in Project 2017.
Yeah, and that really depends if this is really a brand new character.
Like, the first idea is it could be something new that could be related to the plot. The same way Shade was introduced, Silver was introduced, Blaze was introduced.
Yeah.
All these characters were introduced for the plot of the game, and it had a new gameplay components. Blaze not so much, but she had like fire stuff, so maybe.
Yeah.
So, but my first idea is like, if a completely new character is introduced, let's just say it's not a completely new one. It's something we've already seen before, but it hasn't been in a Sonic Team game, or they haven't worked with it.
Yeah.
I was thinking Boom Sonic.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, if anything else, this whole sort of, new character, new gameplay mechanic is like, I'm 50% sure that this is going to end up being Boom Sonic.
Yeah.
Because, and again, the question is more or less, how does Sonic Team does with this type of gameplay design? Because Boom is meant to be a very different type of Sonic game.
Yeah, Boom is meant to be more explorative, more story-driven, not so much as character arcs, but still. It's meant to be. But I'm just getting in my head is just basically they've like took this character, it's like, okay, what we do with this? I look at the games and go, okay, fuckers, here's how you do it. That's pretty much in my head. It's like, how would classic Sonic 2D beginning to end, modern Sonic 3D beginning to end? I would say they go with the Zanzaru style Sonic Boom. Where it could be primarily 2D, may have some 3D areas.
I was going to say I would hope it would be 3D, because if you're going to go down this route of a 2D game with 3D elements, which, let's be fair, the 3D Sonic games have a lot of 2D elements in them anyway.
Yeah.
So I would like it if they tried to do a more open area.
Because that's what I was asking myself when I was thinking of doing a Fire and Ice review, and I was in my head like, you know what can they actually do with Sonic Boom now, especially with Zanzaru, because that's the only developer there is working on the Boom series. Like, if they can't do another 2D game, because it'll be essentially the same game again, just like, oh, we've got another component with the L and R buttons, yawn. I'll just jump up here, just use Sonic for the majority of the game, and just find whatever I can.
Yeah, go from momentum-based platforming to boost-based platforming, and it's like, well, okay, the Boom's got to have something else. I mean, big thing with
Boom has speed-based areas. It's just it's entirely automatic. So, if you include Boom Sonic, it's like, okay, make it 3D, but I guess a 2.5D in a sense. Like, you still have basically, you go to all these areas and you jump. And you jump on the tethers or whatever, and you land in a 2D area. You have to explore stuff in like a small mini game.
Yeah, I actually have this idea actually just popped in my head how it could work, because in Unleashed, because that game was about two different gameplay mechanics, two different play styles, the speed-based platforming and the combat platforming. In that, the last level of the game, Eggman Land, you actually switch from those two, from Sonic and the Werehog. And I wouldn't be too surprised if this game allows you to do the same thing. At a certain point in the level, you get to meet up with Classic Sonic, and it's our traditional 2D segment, or you go up to Boom Sonic, and it's more of the 3D exploration. You got a maybe bit of light platforming, bit of combat, more proficient this time, obviously. and using the whip, because the big thing is the energy whip thing they've been using.
The Ender Beam, yeah.
The Ender Beam. So anything else they would want to utilize that a lot more in this type of game. You know, the different mechanics it can do, from solving puzzles, defeating enemies, maybe using it during like some speed platforming. Like instead of having to jump on characters, you actually use the whip to flick things off while you're running.
Yeah, because that's what you did in Shattered Crystal. You used the Ender Beam to rip off an enemy shield.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that will put this, as far as any other character that could be introduced, it could be a fucking mongoose for all we know. which case, hello Mina fans, and no insult to you, no offense, but the Boom Sonic is probably the most viable and easily accessible one they can do. And it's like, okay, here's Sonic Team's depiction of what Boom can do, and that could be that could also be the gameplay component.
I mean, really, that's the best. I mean, here's the deal. If we're going down this generation thing again, gameplay-wise, why not do this? Why not let's add the entity? We've done 2 characters. Let's do 3 characters and how the different playstyles interact with each other.
It's not like I haven't done it before.
Yeah.
Sonic Heroes is definitely that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like it's still a platform where you had speed areas, power areas,
speed,
and
flight, and power. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not like I haven't done before. It wasn't kind of fine-tuned. So having a a standard 2D platformer level with then a modern 3D boost level with 2D elements, and then you have a fully 3D explorative area where you have to do certain side missions, or maybe just to hit a button to access a new area for modern or classic.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, if anything, think about this. How could this game be multiplayer? Whether or not there's like a mode in which you can actually play the 2 different characters at the same time and doing like different elements in the levels, like a co-op thing. Like Classic Sonic has to get through this barrier, but Boom Sonic has to do something in order to get through. That's like a challenge, probably.
Maybe, but I doubt it. I think more of a time trial. Like there has to be multiplayer in this game. There has to be.
Yeah, if you're going down this route, there would have to be. And like I said, I wouldn't be too surprised if they try and put, like I said, if we're going to have Boom Sonic, why not Knuckles, Tails, Amy, Styx, at least bring them into the game.
Just bringing characters that people haven't seen for like, we already have in Mania, we already have the wanted posters for Team Hooligan, Knack, Fang, and Bark.
Yeah. Which, if anything else,
Knack, Bean, and Bark, or Knack, Fang, whatever. I don't know why I said Knack and Fang in separate characters.
I will say this: if Sonic Team really want to pull stuff out of their sleeves, unless they decide it's going to be these characters in Project Sonic, like as a surprise, these are going to be the new sort of gameplay mechanic, I'll be generally like, wow, you really pushed it, didn't you?
Because out of all the characters in Boom, Sega and Sonic Team, even Sonic Central, like Styx. Because in the comics, she was the only Boom character in World Unite crossover.
Exactly.
And she's also in the Rio Olympic Games.
Yeah. And considering the fact that she's probably the one character, I would say, from a design point of view, this is not character, but design, she looks like she could fit into the main universe better than a lot of the other characters.
And seeing her interact with the actual Sega-verse characters, that would be great.
Yeah. And like I said, this is a great opportunity that Generations didn't have, and we know this from serious talks and whatever, because Generation's plot is an excuse to have all these levels in and never really touch upon how the characters really interact with each other. Like, modern Sonic and classic Sonic have little dialogue segments, even Tails, but not a lot, and clearly that's
the plot was designed around the levels. That was the problem with the story.
Yeah. So if anything else, this is the perfect opportunity to go back to that type of idea and really expand on it. Now, I'm not saying the game should be a big, heavy, story-driven thing like lots of AAA games, because I know some people are just like, I don't care about that. I just want to play the game. I just want to play a traditional Sonic game as it is. But there's a better way you can do that, especially as anniversary games, that you can do all loads of in-jokes, surprises, all this stuff, and character bouncing off each other. It'd be great. It would be a good excuse to do it this way.
Although Sonic Generations did the same thing about how Sonic Colors and Secret Rings were canon. So that's confusing.
Yeah, but like I said, I mean, really, if they're going down the whole, the worlds are in danger again, like I said from the teaser trailer, it's, I guess, in the multiverse is in danger because of some other weird shit. Why not? Why not just go full blunt with it?
Yeah, and even have references to SAT-AM there if you needed to. Like, actually, it's unlockable, a 3D in-game model of Sally Akon from the reboot.
Yeah, there you go. That would probably please a few of them.
She's in a game! She's in a game!
Yeah, she's in a game. She's not playable, but she's there.
Well, that's our speculation of what the gameplay component and a new character could be. Before we know, we could be entirely wrong and it's a completely new character, like Silver the Hedgehog, and has psychic powers.
Exactly. I mean, it could be a totally new character they made from scratch or whatever, but like you said, there is so many opportunities we can imagine for this, let alone what the actual developers are doing. So it's kind of fun to just sort of speculate what we like to see or what might happen.
Yeah, I really would like to see Sonic Team take on Boom Sonic and like go, okay, here's how we would do it.
Yeah, because I think,
and you know what, it actually is a better game than what the hell Big Red Button did.
Managed to do. Well, I think if anything else, they would be more confident, I think, to say we can take this and we can really embellish on what the game needed to be.
Yeah, they embrace the comedic side.
Yeah, exactly. Which, like I said, that's part of the fun. If this is going to be a narrative thing as well, if you're going to have Boom Song in there, there's so many things you can do. I mean, like I said before, when the Parallel Knuckles episode, they should have done a scene in which they ended up accidentally bringing in so many different versions of Knuckles, in which they point out saying, man, there are just so many of these big red muscly guys. Well, apart from that one. And it's just the real Knuckles just standing in the corner.
Oh, classic Knuckles, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Just the real Knuckles just in there thinking, wow, this is kind of odd.
That was a joke when it happened, but they didn't do it.
I know, but who knows? Who knows?